Welcome back, everyone. We're back again doing another D&D story. This is a story from my current campaign that I'm currently playing in. It's a Elder Scrolls based system. It's like Elder Scrolls reskin 5e in that kind of sense. I'll put a link in the description below of the books we use for it if you guys want to play it yourself. But in my party, there's currently 7 of us. And we are recently just delving through a Necromancer's dungeon kind of tomb thing, and we were making our way through the final stretches of it, completing all the puzzles and everything, and we came up against the final boss, who was the Necromancer, and he had assembled a load of corpses and used a spell to kind of mold them all together, and including himself, and turned it into a kind of a undead zombie dragon thing. That could cast spells, I believe. But we had recently finished off and killed it, and we were going through the loot that we got. There was a few gems, a few books, and we came across a box. And inside this box was the worst thing you could have possibly given this group, because we're we fuck about basically if we get any opportunity to just derail any possible situation. We usually do, and we were given the deck of many things, and initially the DM was originally expecting us to maybe draw one card between all of us, and then realize, oh, these are really powerful, we'll stow these away if we ever need them. But we decided to do something a little bit different. We initially decided to split the deck up evenly between us, bar one person, because we got the 22 deck rather than 52 or whatever it was, and there were 7 of us, so one person got 4 cards and the rest of us got 3. I know originally that people are supposed to, you go by card, so you say how many cards you're going to draw, and then you bing 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 Urium then, or you go by what the effects are, but we just said that we were going to dish out 3 each, and then we'll look at them and then activate them however they are. And there were some funny ones. The first guy who drew all 4, the first thing he got was Wish, and he got 2 wishes. Then he got to reverse any major events. I apologize if I don't know the card names. I haven't gone and looked at them, because there's a few things that happened, which I'll explain in a moment or two. But I didn't want to go looking at them and understanding what they do, just so I don't kind of metagame a bit. I know like they're readily available and you can understand it and play without it, but I feel like it might make myself impose my character's ideas on the story and how to solve the situation. But yeah, that character got Wish, reverse any major events, so basically anything that's happened or will happen, and he can redo any key moments. Then he got, I believe it's called Ruin, where your soul is extracted and sent to another dimension. They recently did the one shot for Critical Role with Grog would have happened to him at the end of season 1, so that was actually kind of funny. And if you want to know what that card does, check it out, it's very funny. And then I know that Wish doesn't undo that spell, but he had to reverse any major events, so he decided to use that in that effect and just restore him before he disappeared and stopped him from drawing that card. And then on his 4th card, he got 50 gems of and they applied it to the way our DM applied it was to the gems that we had recently found, which were these. I think they were valued like 500 a piece, and he got 50 of them. So he decided to evenly spread them across the group and gave 3 to each person, and then kept about 36 for himself. The next guy, he drew 3 cards, but unfortunately he picked the card that popped you out of existence. So he was just standing there, drew a card, looked at it, and just disappeared. All of his clothes, all of his belongings fell on the ground, which worked very handily for the next guy who came along. When he drew his cards. Unfortunately, the guy who popped out of existence, our barbarian, we just said once his cards dropped, we wouldn't look at them unless someone wanted to go afterwards and look at them. But we just continued on with the next person in the group to start looking at their cards, and your man got ruined, so everything he owned that wasn't magical was basically destroyed. And since he has like no magical weapons, bar one that we got from not Sheogorath, Hircine, he got one of his spears. I can't remember what it's called, but that's his only magical item. So basically, he just had that stand there naked. So he ended up having to take your man's clothes, and he was about like a foot or two taller than him, so just standing there baggy, all of his baggy clothes. He then gained 50,000 XP. And after that moment, we basically leveled up. So the whole party's at level 6, and he's at level 10 now. So it's kind of mad. And then he got one wondrous item, so that's gonna be handy for him. I can't remember if the one wondrous item comes alongside the 50 XP or 50,000 XP, but I think that's what it was. And then we had our wizard drew his cards. He got increased +2 to any of his saving throw or any to his ability scores. So obviously he went for intelligence because he's a wizard. Increased that by +2, and then hilariously got the Medusa card. So all of his saving throws got -2 to him. So I thought it was kind of funny. And then he got, what was it? Oh, he got, I believe it's called the Comet card. If you single-handedly defeat the next hostile monster, you can level up, basically. So he'd be very interested in that. He was talking about fighting a cockroach or something, or a mouse, something that's going to be physical and hardy for him to beat, because this guy is really weak. Well, as you expect with being a wizard. Our next guy, one of our rogues, he got fucked over big time. He lost 10,000 XP, but basically since we just leveled up, he's back at 0. So, and we're doing milestones XPs. But yeah, so it's kind of funny. As soon as we leveled up, he's back to 0 basically. But thankfully, he did lose 10,000 and go back down to level 5, or else that'd be terrible for him. Then he drew the card that he is pissed off a very angry devil and is going to come and try to kill him. And then he drew a card that basically someone has turned against you. It's going to be interesting because his character kind of has no backstory as far as we can tell. He kind of just appeared. And well, that'll be interesting for him and the DM to work out. We'll see how that goes. The next guy, our other rogue, he decided just to flip 2 cards. He got the towers. I believe it's called tower. Basically, you become like a lord of a tower, but you can only take ownership of the tower once you clear all the monsters that are within it, and you become proficient with the persuasion skill, and you add like double your proficiency bonus to it or something. That's what it is. And then he also got basically you can ask the DM any question, the DM has to answer him. Thankfully, we're not at a crazy story plot point where nothing major is going to happen. So like it's not like, oh, where's the Lich's phylactery? Is it phylactery or phylactery? Whatever. But basically, we're not in any kind of crazy story and plot moment that he can use it currently. He might use it for something funny because he always tends to do something. But he decided that after the other rogue had such a terrible time, he decided, I'm just going to save this card for any day. And then this is where my guy came along and got really... It was funny in a sense, and then how like a lot of times people kind of say paladins can't be like paladins like lawful stupid or whatever. They just kind of I follow the law, I do regardless of whatever it is, and I'll fucking break up the party's morale. But the first card I drew was get a wondrous item, or not wondrous item, a very rare weapon or above that you were proficient with. So it'll be interesting because my guy is a bit of in this it's called a spell sword. So you're proficient with long swords and great swords, I believe. I only realized that long swords in this are actually great swords, and then short swords are long swords. It's a weird thing, but yeah, so it'll be handy. And then he got -2 to his intelligence score, so I went from 11 to a 9. And then the funny part was that he swapped alignments. We don't really play with alignments, but if I was to describe my guy, he's kind of chaotic neutral, chaotic evil kind of guy. So and his alignment got swapped, so he basically became lawful good. And he became stupid, so he's literally a lawful stupid character now. I don't know what's going to happen. Like that was the end of the last session, and this video is probably going to come out just after we have our next session. But I'll let you guys know how it goes. But Jesus, it's going to be mad. It's going to be absolutely mad. Yeah, 'cause one character is possibly dead. One guy still has a wish. No, he actually has 2 wishes. He has to decide what to do with. Possibility of one night becoming a lord. One guy's 4 levels ahead of us, and he's stupid doing the amount of damage he does currently is ridiculous. gets like 3 attacks off and around, and it has mobile feet and everything, and has damage dice. Possibly this this book isn't balanced exactly, but it's still a lot of fun to play. But yeah, I'll put the link in the description below for that if you guys want to check it out. I don't believe it's licensed or anything, so you guys can check it out. I believe it's homebrew kind of thing, and we don't actually use the class, or not classes, the races in it. Like they're grand, but we end up using the races from an Imgur post that someone made, so they're actually kind of cool. They look a lot like the excerpts you'd find in the normal kind of 5e books, which are kind of around there if you guys can see them. So yeah, I think that's all of them. There's 3 or 4 cards that weren't drawn. 2 from the guy that popped out of existence, and 1 from the guy, or from the rogue, who decided to be smart about his decisions and not draw a card. But yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, that's the story of how my guy became lawful stupid. I'll keep you guys up to date if anything mad happens after the fact, but I can't imagine anything going over that milestone, but I imagine we probably will somehow. But yeah, sure, we'll end it there. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.